Welcome back once again to NANDGAME. Today we are doing functional completeness. What is functional completeness? What are we doing here today? Well, I believe this is all about De Morgan's law. Just as a little refresher, the idea is if you have AND, NAND, NOR, and OR, it doesn't matter which one you start with. You can create any of these logic gates using the others. If you have one of these, you can build them all. In NANDGAME, we started with NAND, and then we built everything from that. But that's not strictly necessary, and I guess we're going to prove that today, starting with building NAND from NOR, and then also NAND from AND, going this way. And I'm hoping these should be pretty easy tasks, because we've done a lot of stuff very similar to this already. So let's get started. NAND from NOR. We have already proven that everything can be built only from NAND gates. Prove the same for NOR gates through building a NAND gate from only NOR gates. So if you look at this truth table, this is the truth table for NAND. We have 1, 1, 1, 0. NOR is flipped and inverted. So here's NOR on this side, and here's NAND on this side. If we invert the inputs, in other words, instead of directly feeding A and B into this NOR gate, we're going to invert A and B before we do that. That'll give us an output of 0, 0, 0, 1. Then if we invert the output, so in other words, what's coming out of NOR, instead of directly feeding it to the output, we're going to invert that result. That'll give us our desired NAND. So we have to invert the inputs and then invert the output. But the catch is we only have NOR gates. We don't have an inverter. Luckily, we can build an inverter from NOR very easily. All you have to do is hook up both inputs to a NOR gate like this, and you'll see that when it's 0, the output is 1, and when it's 1, the output is 0. That's an inverter. So we'll start by inverting both A and B, and then we're going to feed those into our NOR gate. And then we're going to invert the output by feeding it right into NOR, and then hook that up to our output. And then that should give us NAND. Let's check solution. So there you go, 4 components used. We're not getting the message that this is the simplest possible solution, so maybe you can figure out something better, but I think this solution is nice and straightforward. Moving on, NAND from AND and invert. Only NAND and NOR are universal logic gates, meaning that any other logic can be built from either. So I guess what I said here was a bit of a lie, and that you do need an invert available in order to move from AND to everything else and OR to everything else. Can an invert gate combined with another logic gate be used to build everything? Try building NAND gate from only AND and invert gates. Okay, this one is even easier, because what is NAND? It's not AND. It is just the inverted output of an AND gate. So an AND and an inverter should give us exactly what we want, not AND. Check solution. All levels incompleted. We found another typo, but I will take the well done. Okay, that's it for functional completeness. A nice simple one. I will see you next time for bit shifts.